So you know that indictment of James Comey that I've talked about before, not as much as some other people, but nonetheless, I have talked about it. Well, it's not just the liberals that have been calling BS on it. Now you have a former Trump White House lawyer saying the quiet part out loud that the two Trump-aligned lawyers that are behind this indictment are completely inept.
You couldn't find a high school stock boy at Home Depot who could have handled this more ineptly than Lindsey Halligan did. Taking a indictment that the grand jury never saw, having the foreman sign it, and then presenting it to a judge, that's the height of ineptitude and misconduct.
So, yeah, let's just think about that for a second. When you have people that worked in the Trump White House before saying, yeah, no, this is a terrible idea. What are you doing? Well, that definitely means something, okay? Again, we're not talking about some normal difference of legal opinion on this, okay? We're talking about people trying to weaponize the law, okay? And it is kind of funny that Republicans have a weaponization committee. Yeah, it's pretty ironic, okay? And by the way, hilarious since they're doing so badly at it. I mean, according to the reports here, these two lawyers pushed an indictment of Comey on charges tied to his old congressional testimony. Now, this former White House lawyer is pointing to that and saying these two attorneys didn't just stretch the law. Okay, they're twisting it. They're making it into a pretzel. Okay, they're violating their core ethical duties and should be disbarred over it.
Well, I do think that both Halligan and Bondi should be disbarred. Bondi has twice submitted affirmations to this court about the propriety of Lindsey Halligan's grand jury presentation. She knew this. There's no way she could not have known this, and that's just means that she lied, or that she's equally incompetent, but more likely that she lied.
And there it is. Okay, why does this matter though? Why should we care? Well, because lawyers aren't supposed to be hired guns. They're supposed to be officers of the court, supposed to uphold the system, not to help a wannabe strongman grind his enemies into dust. That's what he's doing with Comey. Look, the bar rules are also quite clear about this, okay? You can't file cases just to harass or intimidate somebody. You can't lie to the court. You can't use the legal system to go after your political enemies. And that's exactly, though, what is being alleged here. That these Trump goons are trying to criminalize the act of investigations. Not because they have some airtight legal theory, but because Donald Trump wants vengeance against James Comey. And by the way, I know you might not care about James Comey. I really don't either. Let's be honest. But this is beyond James Comey, okay? Because look at the precedent they set if they get away with it. Oh, if you investigate Donald Trump, then we're going to indict you years later. Testify honestly against Trump? Well, your words might be twisted into obstruction charges. We'll enforce the law against Donald Trump's people. Are you kidding me? No, you're going to get bar complaints. You're going to get indictments. You're going to get legal threats. It's going to be lawfare against you. Okay? And that is how you train the system to look the other way next time you want to do a crime. Look, you don't have to capture every judge and every prosecutor. What you need to do is to make examples out of a few people so that everyone else thinks, ooh, no, I'm not interested in this. I got a mortgage. I got kids. Maybe I'll just shut up. I'll stay quiet. I'll go along to get along, okay? That's not a good thing. And here's the really important part. When you have somebody from inside that conservative legal world, as we do have, saying, hey, this crosses a line, these lawyers, they should be disbarred. Again, this is somebody who worked in the Trump White House, who is now a critic. And it's not just because, oh, Trump mean to me. No, it's because he's clearly breaking laws. Okay? And look, it's not just him disagreeing with Trump. Okay? No, he is setting up a flashing warning sign that we are drifting straight up into authoritarian lawfare. You know, the thing that they were screaming about the left doing, right? Which they weren't. It's actually happening now. And look, authoritarians are always going to need lawyers. I mean, why do you think that the Trump administration had been going after all of these different law firms and getting them to do these agreements, to do even pro bono work on behalf of the administration? That's what they've been doing, okay? And look, this is part of that. They need the people in the suits to help them with their revenge campaigns, to give it a little bit of patina of legitimacy, okay? They need the indictments. They need subpoenas. They need the bar complaints to look like the rule of law, when in reality, of course, it's the rule of Trump. So we have a choice here. Either the legal profession actually polices its own, you know, the bar associations, ethics boards, and we've seen some of that, and judges saying, and we've also seen that, if you turn the justice system into a Trump's personal hit squad, then you don't get to practice law anymore. I mean, Rudy Giuliani disbarred in New York City. Okay, so there's an example of that. Or nationally, and it does need to be expanded nationally, or we keep pretending that all of this is normal, that this is just partisan back and forth, right? And we wake up in a country where prosecutors are scared to bring cases. We're getting to that point where witnesses are afraid to testify, and the only people who feel safe are those who pledge loyalty to people like Trump. Look, you don't have to like James Comey. I don't like James Comey. Okay, a lot of us don't, and for very good reason. He ain't my homie. All right. You don't also have to like Ty Cobb, the former White House lawyer. But when people inside the Republican legal elite are calling for the disbarment of Trump's attack dogs, I mean, that tells you something. It tells you something important. That this is not an example of law and order. This is an example of political retribution that is being run right through the courts. And the question is, will the legal system stand up and fight against it? Or will they end up, like everyone else, rolling over? If this video helped you cut through the BS and see what is really happening, then smash that like button. Every single like pushes back against the right-wing propaganda machine. I can't do this work without your support. So please check out my Patreon. Link is in the description of this video. For a few bucks a month, you can help keep this channel independent from corporate BS. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's keep fighting for democracy and against fascism together.